Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back on the channel taking a look at some more Cosmic Eclipse decks, and for this entry into our testing round series we're going to be taking a look at the new Blastoise Piplup GX and the new Arceus Dialga and Palkia GX. So in this video I'm actually going to be on the left playing the new Blastoise Piplup. It's going to be kind of like a greens version of the deck I'm trying out. And then over on the right we have Haley Brokaw, who is a local player from my area. She was nice enough to help me record this video, and she's going to be playing the new Arceus Dialga and Palkia GX. And it does look like she is going first here, just kind of eyeing down her hand, it appears, seeing what she wants to do. Here she's going to go for a Mysterious Treasure. Looks like she does not have a supporter, so she's probably thinking about trying to thin some cards out of her deck first before going for a Stellar Wish here. So here she's going to discard a Super Scoop Up with that Mysterious Treasure and go for an Arceus Dialga and Palkia GX. So luckily she is going first, so she really doesn't have to get too much down. If she was going second, she would have to have a more aggressive turn, but her GX attack, which is what she really wants to use for the first attack of the game, it's a metal and water energy, or I'm sorry, just a metal energy, but if you attach an extra water energy, you get a bonus effect. So if you just have the metal energy, your attacks do 30 more damage for the rest of the game, but if you have a water energy attached as well, all of your Pokemon take one more prize card whenever they take knockout. So this is kind of what she wants to lead the game with. But like I said, since she is going first, she really doesn't have to overextend very much to get set up here. And she does have this Lily in hand, so we're probably going to see her bench that, or not bench that, but play that. Definitely her ideal first turn supporter here. And okay, so I mean, she really doesn't need too much else. Like I said, all she needs next turn is going to be a water energy attachment and a switching card, and it does look like she has a switch if I did see correctly. And then just pass it over to me. So pretty decent little first turn from Haley. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a Tag Whistle, it appears. That's going to be a new card from Cosmic Eclipse. You get search your deck for 2 Tag Team Pokemon. Or not Tag Team Pokemon, it's actually a very important distinction. 2 Tag Team cards. So that means you can actually grab a Tag Team Pokemon like Blastoise Piplup GX and also a new Tag Team supporter if your deck is running them, which this Blastoise Piplup list actually is. So we'll have to see what I'm going to go for here. Do I have ways of getting energy in the discard pile? That's going to be one of the big things I'm going to have to think about here. But here it looks like I might be going for a Cynthia and Caitlin. Here I'm going to discard a Mallow and Lana with Viridian Forest here. So I must not have a very playable hand. I must not have like an actual draw supporter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Cynthia and Caitlin. You put a supporter back in your hand, and then if you discard 1 card from your hand as well, you draw 3. So I discarded the Mallow and Lana to be able to activate the Cynthia and Caitlin. So I only got 1 energy in discard pile, which is a little bit of a bummer, but nevertheless, it's going to be okay. I'm going to use that attack on Kyogre. It's just a colorless energy. You attach up to 2 water energy, I believe it is, from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So I did get essentially 1 additional attachment this turn. So let's see, it looks like Haley is going to be going for a Stellar Wish here, and she is going to find herself a Cynthia. So we'll probably see a switch into Arceus Dialga Palkia if I just had to guess. Yep, that appears to be the case, and probably a Cynthia afterwards. She really doesn't even need too much, which is actually kind of nice for her at this point. Maybe she could go for a Cherish Ball for another Keldeo and then just play the Cynthia. I think I wouldn't mind seeing that, but here she's just going to go for the Cynthia, it appears. So yeah, I think I would have rather seen her Cherish Ball for an additional Keldeo. Not a huge deal though. I mean, it's only 1, you know, essentially, well, I guess 2 fewer cards that would have been in her deck. But like I said, she really doesn't need much this turn. She's going to go for that GX attack. And really next turn is when she needs to probably start doing a little bit more. But I think this is fine. So also too, guys, if you're unfamiliar with the attack on Arceus Dialga Palkia, it's Metal Water Colorless, 150, search your deck for 3 basic energies, attach them anywhere you want. So here she's just going to burn her GX attack, like I said, so now all of her Pokemon are going to do 30 more damage, and she takes an additional prize whenever she takes a knockout, which is pretty big, because if she knocks out this Kyogre, then she only has to knock out 1 Blastoise Piplup to win the game from there. So it puts a lot of pressure on me to try to keep this Blastoise Piplup alive if possible. So here I'm going to go for a greens, it appears. Let's see what I'm going to get. I didn't get a good look at my hand this turn. So it looks like I have a Kyogre, a couple energies. I believe I see a tag switch as well. So really, I think I just need to start setting up maybe for my next turn. I'm probably not going to actually attack this turn, which is fine. Oh, and here it looks like I might be eyeing down a custom catcher play, potentially. I might even want to prefer to see, yeah, I want to see the Great Catcher here. So it looks like what I'm thinking about doing is Great Catchering up the Keldeo and trying to prevent Haley from getting off an attack next turn if possible. And looks like I might be going for a Tag Whistle as well. Now, I don't really have too much in my hand beyond that, so yeah, it looks like I'm a little bit torn as to what the second card off this screen should be. Now, the argument for Tag Whistle would be I could search my deck for the Misty and Lorelei, and between all of my energy in play, I would be able to actually survive for several turns thanks to Blastoise's healing from its attack. But yeah, I'm just going to go for the greens, play it a little bit safe here. But here I'm going to play Great Catcher, new card from Cosmic Eclipse. You get to discard 2 cards from your hand, switch your opponent's active with one of their bench Pokemon GX or EX. So I'm going to bring up this Keldeo, like I said, in an attempt to stall Haley for a turn and prevent her from getting off an attack. So this is a situation where maybe Haley might have even wanted to have saved her last hand, because she did have a switch in it as well. So we'll have to see. I mean, we have several copies of Super Scoop Up and Switch in this deck, so even if she plays a supporter, she does have decent odds of drawing what she needs here. So I believe she's a little bit conflicted here because she has an energy switch in her hand as well. So she theoretically could attach to the active Keldeo energy switch from the Arceus Dialga Palkia, and then she can try to hit another energy switch, or she attaches to the Arceus Dialga Palkia and goes for a Cynthia and tries to just find a switch or Super Scoop Up. So based on the counts that are in the deck, I'm not sure what she has prized, but based on the counts that are in the deck, I think she has a slightly higher chance of hitting a switching card off of the supporter as opposed to an energy switch. But again, I'm not sure what Haley has prized here, so I can't say definitively. But it looks like she is going to be going for the Arceus Dialga Palkia. Here she's going to get down a new stadium card, Chaotic Swell. Very, very good card for decks that play Keldeo GX. So whenever a player puts down a counter stadium, that stadium gets bumped as well. So very good at removing things like power plants preemptively. So she's going to get that down. I like that just in case she whiffs the switching card. She doesn't want this Keldeo stuck in active to be potentially planted, like power planted, and get swung on. Also just then a card out of her deck too to increase her odds of hitting a switch. And it looks like she does have a switch and the Super Scoop Up, but of course she's going to go for the switch instead just to guarantee the effect. And so what I think I want to see here is I think I want to see a Cherish Ball come down, going for another Keldeo GX. Okay, and that is what Haley is going to go for. Okay, so this will allow her to spread her energy around a little bit with the Arceus Dialga Palkia. And one thing I actually just thought of too, maybe it wasn't a good play to put down the Chaotic Swell, because I'm thinking right now Blastoise Piplup actually can't even one-shot a Keldeo, so even if Haley didn't move it, it wouldn't have even been one-shotted. So maybe I would have preferred to see her hold that. We were actually talking about this, I do remember, on this turn saying, yeah, that seems like a good play if you put it down. You know, just in case you whiff the switching card. But I think maybe in hindsight, we should have had, I think maybe the better play would have been just throw it back in deck. But anyways, Haley here is going to take a knockout on this Kyogre, going down to 4 prizes. And now, like I said, all she has to do is knock out one single Blastoise Piplup GX. But of course, my deck has a lot of healing. If you guys aren't familiar with the Blastoise Piplup GX, its first attack for 2 water and a colorist is 150. And you attach up to 3 water energy from your hand to one of your to your Pokemon any way that you like, I believe it is, and then you heal 50 damage for each energy you attached in this way. So you can heal off a ton of damage with this thing. I have that Choice Helmet down, which is actually going to be a really big thorn in Haley's side, because without Choice Helmet, Keldeos are going to 2-shot this Blastoise Piplup, and with the Choice Helmet down, she's going to have to 3-shot it, which is pretty annoying. So that's going to be kind of annoying. Between the healing, between the choice helmet, it is going to be a challenge for her to knock out this one Blastoise Piplup, but she definitely can do it. Here it looks like I'm going to go for a greens and a tag whistle, it appears. So going for a Misty Lorelei and a Blastoise Piplup GX. Alright, so gonna get down Blastoise Piplup. And let's see. Looks like I have a counter gate in hand, so I am gonna get that down. And here I'm going to put down my own power plant, bumping the Chaotic Swell. This will get rid of one of my power plants, which is a bit of a bummer, but I want to get those Chaotic Swells out of play while Keldeo is not in the active spot if possible. Because ideally I want to be able to power plant whenever I'm attacking into Keldeo and not have it get bumped by Chaotic Swell. But so let's see what Healy's going to do here. Going to attach her energy to the Keldeo. That seems good. And here she does have a Super Scoop Up in her hand. So it looks like she's a little bit conflicted. I kind of want to see if she's going to go for the Super Scoop Up. I want to see her Lily first if possible. But she is going to go for the Super Scoop Up. So that is going to allow her to get that damage to Arceus Dialga Palkia back to her hand. But now her hand is really thick and she can't actually play her Lily, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, nevertheless, she really doesn't have too much that she really needs this turn. She definitely wants to get down another Chaotic Swell, but she really doesn't need another one until next turn if she is going to get down another. But yeah, I definitely would have preferred to see her play that first because her hand was a little bit is going to be a little bit too clunky for her to actually use that now. But anyways, so here she is going to attack for 110. Effectively, the choice helmet just kind of negates the 30 buff that the GX attack gave her. So now I have the Misty and Lorelei, so I could do that. I can also greens for power plant, and I think that's what, or I guess that's what I'm thinking about doing here. Looks like I'm going to go for a power plant, and maybe even, it looks like I'm eyeing on Great Potion. I think maybe even another greens to guarantee a power plant on the next turn could be good. Or maybe there's a consideration, maybe I shouldn't even go for plant this turn because I can't one-shot her. So maybe I should just save the plant for next turn, like Misty Lorelei, a bunch of energy onto this Blastoise Piplup, heal it off, and then I can actually use its GX attack plus plant on the next turn to take a knockout. So I actually think maybe that would have been a little bit better in hindsight. So the GX attack on Blastoise Piplup, it's 2 water and a colorless, does 100 and paralysis, but if you have 3 additional energy, you do 250. So maybe that would have been a little bit better. So there appears to be some misplays in this game so far, guys. I do apologize. Of course, with these testing rounds videos, these are usually some of our first couple times playing with the deck, so there are going to be some misplays. We're kind of figuring these archetypes out as we are going through this series sometimes. I think I'd had like 2 games prior to this with the Blastoise Greens deck, but yeah, so try to excuse some of those minor blunders if possible. But let's see what Healy is going to do here. Now, if she wants to play this Lily, she is going to have to play down her hand pretty far. So it looks like she has a Metal Energy down on Keldeo. Looks like she's going to bench another Arceus Dialga Palkia. So she could Great Catcher. That would actually allow her to play down her hand pretty low. So it looks like she's just a little bit conflicted as to like what route she wants to go here. So here she is going to use Great Catcher, discarding Rayquaza GX, and maybe the other Arceus Dialga Palkia. I don't hate that either. So the Rayquaza GX, it might look a little bit weird in this list, but it's for those games when you're going second. Of course, Haley went first, so she wound up not needing it, but yeah, pretty much for the games where you're going second and on your first turn. Here she is going to go for a Lily. And she has found another Super Scoop Up, so that could be good here. And she does hit the Super Scoop Up, so she is going to, heal off that Keldeo. But still, the awkward situation she's in, however, is that she doesn't have a counter stadium. That's kind of the big thing here. So here she is going to bench that Keldeo again, and man, she could go for the Dedenne, but it's a big risk here just because of how much energy she actually has discarded. So here I do have a Misty and Lorelei. I can get 3 energies out of my deck. So if you guys aren't too familiar with the new Misty and Lorelei supporter, it's a new tag team supporter. You get to search your deck for 3 water energies, and then its secondary effect, you get to discard, I believe it's 5 cards from your hand. If you do, though, you do get to reuse one of your GX attacks from one of your water Pokemon. So we're not going to be using it too much for the secondary effect, but you know, mainly just to get some energy out of our deck here. But nevertheless, this actually isn't too bad, because what I can do is I can actually attach all the energy to the other Blastoise Piplup and just heal it off. So I really don't even mind that this current Blastoise Piplup is going to be damaged here. Just because she's gonna need 2 attacks to knock me out either way. So I should be safe on this turn. And this is just kind of a rough spot for Haley, because she really needs a... Okay, here it looks like she's going to shift gears and just take a turn off maybe to attempt to kind of restabilize a little bit, maybe find a counter stadium for this power plant. And, oh, she accidentally drew 1 too many extra cards. Oh, and that next card actually would have been really good for her. She had a Cynthia there. But here it looks like she is going to grab herself a Great Catcher. Just to thin it out of the deck. Now, question is she going to go for Dedenne this turn? If that's the case, I definitely don't want to see her grab this Great Catcher. If she's grabbing it, that must mean she's just going to sit on this hand for a turn, I would imagine. And here, okay, yeah, she was saying she had another Drachi in hand, so she wanted to get that down before passing. And that's fine. So, let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to play TV Reporter. This is a card you rarely ever see. Not the best supporter, but actually does have some synergy here, since we can actually discard energies with it for Kyogre in the early portions of the game. And also, it functions as that kind of like just hand-building card like Coach Trainer, Welder, etc. in other greens decks. So here looks like I'm thinking about going for Shrine of Punishment. So Shrine of Punishment could be good if Haley is unable to find herself a counter stadium. Shrine of Punishment would be huge, because it actually potentially could net me an additional knockout on this Keldeo on the bench. So I think it's a little bit risky, because if Haley does have the counter stadium, 2 of my power plants will have been gone at that point, and I'll only have 1 left, because this Blastoise list right now only has 3 in it. But here I'm just going to go for the knockout on the Jirachi here. And Haley drew another Great Catcher, which is a bit of a pain. So hopefully she can find herself a supporter. She really needs one here. That way she doesn't have to burn this Dedenne. And she does find Lily, but it's just not the best, because her hand is pretty full. She has a ton of energy down in this situation. So overall, just kind of a rough spot that she's in here. So it looks like she is going to take the Viridian Forest in this case. So she is going to get down the Viridian Forest. Bumping that power plant, definitely a good idea. She knows that power plant is going to be kind of like the bane of her existence in this matchup here. But let's see. So she definitely wants to get down a water energy, I think, no matter what, on this Keldeo GX. It's fresh. But here it looks like she might be going for a metal energy. So my knee-jerk reaction is that I'm not a huge fan of that, but if she's attaching there, she could be leaving herself the option of attacking with Arceus Dialga Palkia through energy switch shenanigans at some point if she does want to kind of pivot into a different attacker, if I just had to guess. So if she is putting on the metal energy, that makes me think she's not going to Dedenne, if that's the case. So here, yeah, you can see she's like visibly torn if she wants to actually put down this Dedenne GX. So she's going to discard all that energy. Again, I really wish she would have gotten down the water energy instead, but we'll have to see what she can do. She can find, oh, and she actually found what she needed. She found energy switch and a skateboard, so she will actually be able to get an attack off with Keldeo this turn, and she bumped the power plant as well. So Haley's having a pretty decent turn despite having to discard so much energy here. And she can actually still play Lily because she has not yet played a supporter for turn. So here she's going to go for a Lily, refreshing her hand to 4. And so we're just going to see a retreat, I would imagine. And this is unfortunate because she's going to be just one single attack away from winning. But I am going to be able to heal off a good bit of this damage here. So one thing I could potentially do, well, I do need power plant if I do want to knock out this Keldeo. That is going to be an issue for sure. And I'm not sure if I have access to another greens or not, but if I can knock out one more Jirachi, that would actually be pretty good as well. But here I'm going to go for TV Reporter. Because right now I'm on odd prizes, and if I knock out Jirachi, that would put me back on even prizes, just needing to take 2 GX knockouts to win the game. So here looks like I am going to go for the Shrine of Punishment here. And we'll probably just see a Splash Maker. I believe that is the name of the attack on Blastoise Piplup. So I'm going to get down 3 energy, healing off 150 damage. So Haley's going to need still 2 attacks to take a knockout. And unfortunately, she had to get rid of her great catchers. And I think she's actually out of them at this point because I think she's gone through 3, if I'm not mistaken. And just really quick too, it looks like I did forget to take my own shrine damage. Luckily, I don't believe that wound up impacting the end result of this game. Just kind of forgot about it there. But here, this is another turn. She desperately needs a counter stadium because if she does not bump this Shrine of Punishment, then this Keldeo GX that is damaged already will get knocked out. So here she is going to switch into a Jirachi. And I imagine we'll probably see a Cynthia if I just had to guess. Well, we'll probably see a Water Energy attachment onto the other Keldeo that doesn't have energy, the one that only has 10 damage on it. So here she's going to play Cherish Ball. It looks like she's appearing just to fail it, going for an energy switch. So it looks like she's really attempting to play down her hand very hard this turn to try to find that chaotic swell. So burning the energy switch is definitely a little bit of a bummer, but I definitely understand this. She has to get chaotic swell, otherwise she definitely just loses, I think. It's going to be too easy for me to just find another way to take a knockout to close out the game if this damaged Keldeo gets picked off by the shrine damage. So here she actually does find the chaotic swell. That's actually really, really big for her deck. And she still has her Stellar Wish at her disposal as well. So here it looks like we see a Cherish Ball, Mysterious Treasure. Don't really think any of those are particularly useful. Probably just grab the Cherish Ball. I'd imagine we'll see her fail it if I just had to guess. Yeah, not too much else she needs from there. She could go for the reset stamp, but I think she probably wants to wait and time that for once I take, you know, a GX knockout here. So I am playing, it looks like a TV Reporter. Do I have, let's see, do I have any custom catchers? Because ideally I want to custom catcher and play my Viridian City, or I'm sorry, not Viridian City, but Viridian Forest to bump this chaotic swell. So ideally I can custom catcher, take a knockout on something while also getting rid of this chaotic swell for turn. So it looks like I am going to do that. Getting down Kyogre. Kyogre's pretty safe at this point. And it looks like I'm debating just hard retreating. Interesting. Okay, so I must not have custom catchers, so I must be thinking I'm going to just hard retreat this turn. Sacrifice the Kyogre, and then next turn I can put down another stadium using Power Plant to take a knockout. But here I'm going to use this Great Potion first before retreating into the Kyogre. So that's what we're doing right there. And we'll probably just see the attack on Kyogre just to recharge some of that energy back into play here. Alright, so let's see what Healy is going to get. So we'll probably see her get down a Metal Energy down to this other Keldeo on the bench here. But yeah, she's definitely in a little bit of an awkward spot. That Adeni, I think, was pretty rough. And she's actually out of Chaotic Swells, too. So I think Haley, like, she only essentially needs, well, she actually needs 3 attacks still to win the game, which is... Actually, it might even be closer to 4 attacks, because she's going to have to knock out this Kyogre here. And then she still has to 3-shot a Blastoise, thanks to the Choice Helmet. But it looks like I'm actually promoting the one with the counter gain on it. I guess that's fine. So I think maybe I actually misplayed here, if that's the case. The reason I say that is because if I would have used the tack switch to move that energy on the last turn to the counter gain Blastoise Piplup, I could actually take a knockout on this Keldeo GX here. But I am going to use Mallow and Lana. This is a new tag team supporter. So you get to switch your active one of your bench Pokemon, and then if you discard 2 cards from your hand, you can heal 120 from the fresh new active Pokemon. So yeah, I definitely think I messed up not using the tag switch to the Blastoise with the counter gain. I think I forgot that the counter gain would allow me to use the GX attack if I had found myself in energy to go with this turn. But nevertheless, I mean, I have a decent amount of healing at my disposal still. So I think I can probably still get where I need to go, because I'm pretty sure Haley can't bump this stadium. And it's going to be easier for me to close out this game than it will be for her. So let's see what she's going to do. She doesn't have a supporter in hand, it appears. And she's just gonna have to swing for 110. Here I'm gonna go for a Pokegear, and we fail. There's no supporters left in deck, it appears. Just going to use Great Potion here. Going to, looks like, attack with Splash Maker, attaching a Water Energy in the process. Taking 2 prize cards. And here, I believe Haley was actually out of Water Energy. Yeah, her last Water Energy was prized, so she wasn't actually even able to attack with Keldeo. So, as a result, she's just going to scoop up this game. Kind of unfortunate. She had, you know, I think a rough Dedenne there, getting rid of all of her great catchers, and also just having to dump all of her energy just to ensure that she could bump Power Plant that one turn. But nevertheless, still a relatively close series, or close game that we have here. You know, both decks have a lot of ways to deny knockouts. She has the Super Scoop Ups and the Giovanni's Exile, which didn't actually come into play that particular game. And then over on my end, I have, of course, Great Potions and like the main attack on Blastoise Piplup. But this is going to be a best 2 out of 3 series, guys. We'll have to see how this is going to go. And Haley, no doubt, is going to want to go first in this second game here. And let's see what I can find. Looks like I am going to mulligan. Not too uncommon for a greens deck. This list only plays 7 basics, so sometimes you do mulligan from time to time here. So just in terms of like maybe course correcting strategies, I think maybe just timing Chaotic Swell a little bit better. I think me and Haley both kind of made the mistake of suggesting the Chaotic Swell early on that one turn. Like her very first one she put down last game. I think that's maybe one of the only things that could have come back to bite her, potentially, just because Chaotic Swell is so important in terms of when you time it. But we'll have to see what's going to happen. I'm going to mulligan again, so she definitely does not mind that. And luckily too, like I said, even in the first game, as long as her deck is going first, she really doesn't need to dig very aggressively on her first turn. She has the Rayquaza GX to get down an additional attachment, but she really only needs that if she's going second. So all she needs is Arceus Dialga Palkia and attachment, and she is going to be good to go here. And okay, so she's going to start with Jirachi, definitely her preferred starter here. So no doubt we're going to see a Cherish Ball come down, grab her an Arceus Dialga Palkia. And here it looks like she is just kind of taking a peek, seeing what all she has access to in her deck. I did see the Giovanni's Exile, so that might be potentially useful at some point. From what I could see, it didn't look like anything too ridiculous priced. I saw at least one Keldeo, saw the other Arceus Dialga Palkia. And so we're going to see a Metal Energy come down. And she does have Lily in hand. She could put down the Viridian Forest, but I think she's thinking, you know, that would allow me to draw an extra card. But at the same time, you know, I really don't need much this turn, and I kind of want to save that as like a counter stadium. So I think that's her line of thought here. And I actually think I do agree with that, just because bouncing those power plants is going to be absolutely critical in terms of shutting my deck out of the game potentially. And so she does find herself a Cherish Ball, so we'll probably see a Keldeo come down if I had to imagine. Or at the very least, I would assume a Keldeo would come to her hand. So here she is going to find that Keldeo GX out of deck. So I'd maybe bench it depending on what she gets off Stellar Wish. If she finds herself a Switch or a Super Scoop Up, I don't mind seeing that hit the bench. Here she is going to bench it. Not a huge fan of this without Stellar Wishing at the least. And here we see a Cherish Ball. We see a Lily. So here she is going to find herself a Cherish Ball. So yeah, I definitely think I would have rather have seen her hold on to the Keldeo GX. Not really any risk of keeping it in hand. You know, I do play Reset Stamp, but let's face it, I'm not going to Reset Stamp when she has 6 prizes. Like, she can keep the Keldeo in hand. I'm not really worried about this. But this does open her up to getting Great Catchered on the first turn, which is something she needs to be mindful of because her hand is a little bit awkward here. And here, I'm going to go for an Energy Spinner. So definitely what I like to see if I'm going second, allows me to get 3 basic energies out of the deck. Or of course, if you're not going second on your first turn, you can just grab a single basic energy. So we're going to thin those out of deck here. Let's see what else. Looks like I'm taking a peek, just seeing, you know, what I'm going to have access to in this game, what's prized, what's not. And I did not get a good look at my hand, so we'll have to see if I will have a way to do anything else this turn. Here looks like I'm just like double and triple checking, make sure certain things aren't prized. But again, I didn't get a good look at my hand, so I'm really not sure what I'm going to be able to do here. But at the very least, Energy Spinner is going to help me thin out some cards, maybe allow me to, you know, have better odds of hitting something else I might need instead. And it looks like I do have a TV Reporter, so I am going to get down a Water Energy on Blastoise Piplup. Going to go for TV Reporter. I do hit a Greens, another TV Reporter, and a Custom Catcher, but here I do have Choice Helmet as well, which is huge. You guys saw how important that card was in the previous game, turning those 2 hit knockouts into 3 hit knockouts. So here Haley is going to get down a Water Energy on her Arceus Dialga Palkia. Luckily, the preemptive benching of Keldeo didn't wind up hurting her. Definitely good to see. She does have Cherish Ball in hand, I'm pretty sure. Also has Mysterious Treasure. I wouldn't mind seeing her. Yeah, I think I would have preferred her to play at least one of those. Mysterious Treasure, really not too important at this point. She's found her Arceus Dialga Palkia. Cherish Ball, I think she just wants to thin another Keldeo out of deck at this point. I don't think having 2 in play hurts her, but maybe she's thinking, well, in case my hand's dead, I want Cherish Ball in deck to give me odds to hitting Dedenne potentially. But here she is going to go for a Stellar Wish, it appears. And she does find a Super Scoop Up. No Switch, no Escape Board, but Super Scoop Up can still get the job done. So this is going to be a big flip for her. She definitely doesn't want to miss a beat with using this GX attack if possible. So here she is going to go for the Super Scoop Up. And she does whiff, but she has another Super Scoop Up. So let's see what she can make happen. Okay, and luckily she does get the heads there. And okay, so from here we'll probably just see her burn her GX attack. Even though her hand is like kind of dead, she really doesn't need much on her next turn. She has her Keldeo. So as long as this Keldeo does not get like Great Catchered up or something like that, I think she's going to be in a decent spot. But here I'm going to go for a Greens. am going for a Tag Whistle, it appears. And we'll have to see what the other card I'm going to grab is. Looks like I might be thinking about a Great Potion, just preemptively, maybe. So I am going to go for the Tag Whistle. Going for their Blastoise Piplup and maybe a Misty and Lorelei, or maybe even a Cynthia and Caitlin, depending on what my hand is looking like. And Misty Lorelei, okay. So pretty slow start for my deck. I was unfortunately not able to start with Kyogre. Here I'm going to get down another Water Energy though. And probably just see a pass back over to Haley. Alright, so she is going to get down, it looks like another Jirachi, or she was thinking about it at least. So, I don't know, I might even consider, like, just treasuring away the Jirachi if she's trying to thin stuff out of deck. But here she is going to be able to get off an attack with Arceus Dialga Palkia. She is going to be able to set up some energy down on her Keldeo. So here she's just going to go for that attack. It's going to do 150 once you minus in the 30 reduction for Choice Helmet. So even though she hasn't had a supporter, luckily her deck is pretty low maintenance on these early turns. She had her GX attack when she needed it. She got off her Ultimate Ray, which is the first attack on Arceus Dialga Palkia when she needed it. And really next turn, I think, is the turn where her deck, I think, might look to get some more stuff down. So here looks like I am going to go for Pokegear potentially. Or I could play the Misty and Lorelei. I don't hate that either. So here I'm probably just thinking, how do I want to heal? Do I want to heal via Great Potions? Do I want to heal via attaching energy? And it looks like that's kind of like where my mind is at. So here I am going to get down the 3 energies out of the deck with Misty Lorelei. So Misty Lorelei is a tag team support. You search your deck for 3 water energies. And the secondary effect, if you discard 5 cards from your hand, you can reuse your GX attack on your water Pokemon. The secondary effect isn't going to be, too useful most of the time. But yeah, we're mainly playing it for being able to get the water energy. So here I'm just going to heal off all that damage that was on the Blastoise Piplup and do 150 damage of my own. Okay, so we'll have to see what Haley's going to do here. She does have Treasure. She has Energy Switch. We might just see her just retreat into this Keldeo GX and just start attacking that way. She has the Chaotic Swell, so she actually could get that down and start attacking with Keldeo. So we'll have to see. She appears to be a little bit conflicted as opposed to what route she wants to go. It's definitely like one of those turns where you can feel the absence of cards like Tapu Lele GX and Marshadow in the current standard format, because that Treasure otherwise would be able to net her a consistency card to find some more options on this turn. But here she is going, it looks like, to retreat this Arceus Dialga Palkia. Okay, so she's going to do that. We might see a water energy attachment just as an energy switch target potentially, but she is going to, looks like, treasure away Jirachi here. So she might have been going for another Arceus Dialga Palkia if that's the case, to start powering that up. Okay, so it looks like that is what she's going to favor here. Now I'm curious if she's actually going to bench that or if she's just thinning out of the deck. And I'm not sure how I feel about benching it either way. I know her hand is kind of dead and she wants to get down an attachment this turn, so that could be good. And it looks like that is what she is thinking about doing. The only issue, or the only potential long-term issue, is this could come back to bite her, and I might be able to just win a game via knocking out 2 tag teams. So we'll have to see how this is going to go. Looks like I am going to get down Blastoise Piplup. And I do have Custom Catcher to appear, so I could actually take this turn to bounce Chaotic Swell and Custom Catcher, getting 3 prizes in the process. So I'm going to go for a Pokegear. I definitely want greens, and I do find the greens immediately going for it, not even checking the rest of my 7 cards. So what I can do is I can grab probably Viridian Forest. Yeah, that is what I'm going to grab here. So what I can do is I can bump the Chaotic Swell. Of course, it will in turn bump my own Viridian Forest, but I can Custom Catcher and play around this Keldeo this turn and take a knockout on this Arceus Dialga Palkia. So it looks like I'm just going to go for a forest and any other greens. I think that's fine. So I'm going to bump that, bring up the Arceus Dialga Palkia. And Great Potion as well, healing off some of this damage. So really oppressive turn for my deck here. And here looks like I'm going to Splash Maker, healing off some more damage in the process. So that is such a rough turn. I feel kind of bad for Haley. Haley, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry for putting you through that turn. But here she's going to throw this Jirachi up active in an attempt to start to find some additional cards out of her deck. She really wants a supporter. So she does find a Cynthia there. That's really what she wants to see. And looks like... I mean, I definitely think she wants to get Cynthia here, if I just had to guess. And so I would imagine we might even... She's probably torn if she actually wants to attach the water energy to Arceus Dialga Palkia, and I think it's fine if she wants to or doesn't want to. She can energy switch it away, but she might also want to save her energy switches to pivot between her Keldeos at some point if she needs to. So she definitely needs a switching card. That's the other big thing she's going to be looking for at this turn. So ideally in a skateboard, she did have to burn, what was it, 2 super scoop ups just to move a Jirachi already. So no doubt she doesn't want to have to use another super scoop up to do something similar. So let's see what she can find out of these 6 cards. Like I said, ideally in a skateboard and maybe a Keldeo and energy. Also Chaotic Swell would be good as well. So she does have a switch. I'm trying to see what's in her hand beyond that. Looks like Viridian Forest. Unfortunately, not too much else she really wants to play this turn. I mean, luckily she finally does have a supporter and she's going to be able to stabilize a little bit. But now she's at the point. Okay, and she is going to go for the Dedenne. I definitely like that. You know, seeing the importance of Chaotic Swell. And she does find it. That's actually really, really big because right now my Blastoise was threatening Power Plant knockout on this Keldeo. So she definitely recognized this threat and I think correctly got rid of this, or dumped her hand with the Dedenne. And she still does have, and I think actually this Dedenne is relatively safe because I think my win condition is just bringing up Arceus Dialga Palkia twice via custom catchers and great catchers and knocking it out that way. So let's see how this one is going to go here. And it looks like I'm contemplating going for a greens, it appears. So let's see, you know, what I'm going to go for. So I could bring up this Arceus Dialga Palkia. If I go for Power Plant, I could just knock out this Keldeo. Actually, or no, because she got the Chaotic Swell down. I did forget about that. So yeah, I will have to catch her this turn. And here it looks like I'm going for greens and a custom catcher. So I must already have a custom catcher in hand if that is the case. And I do have, I did see I have a Shrine of Punishment in hand, so I can custom catcher, bring this thing up, bump her stadium with Shrine of Punishment. And getting rid of that Chaotic Swell in the process. Using Tag Switch. And here I'm debating, do I want to get down this other energy or do I want to keep it in hand to potentially heal with? And so here I'm going to attack with Blastoise Piplup GX Attack. It's 100 damage and paralysis, but if you have 3 additional energy, then it does an additional 150, so 250 and paralysis. So kind of like the reasoning here is this could go either way. Like if I paralyze Haley, it's going to force her to actually have a physical switching card or like a scoop up to get out of the active. Whereas if we just went for the first attack, then she could just hard retreat out of the active. So that's why we're going for the GX attack here. But there is a consideration to say, well, if she does retreat and attacks you with Keldeo, wouldn't you rather save your GX attack to just knock out Keldeo instantly? So this could go either way, but right now I'm trying to play it safe and just force her to have more cards to get out of the active spot if she does want to move this thing. Otherwise, I just win next turn if it's stuck. So here we're going to see an attachment plus an energy switch, probably just to play her hand down a little bit lower for Lily. So your Haley does have the switch, and she is going to just switch into Keldeo. Going for a Lily here. Hanging on to that Viridian Forest to potentially bump any power plants that might come into play. So no doubt she's going to be looking for her remaining Super Scoop Up. That's going to be another card. But here she does have a couple of great catchers in hand, but I really don't want to see her use those. I really just want to see her just swing on this active Blastoise Piplup. And just keep forcing me to commit more and more energy to this thing. And okay, so she is going to do that. That's definitely good. So I'm going to go for her greens here, and I should be able to just catch her up this Arceus Dialga Palkia. So yeah, I can just play the great catcher, discarding those cards, bring up Arceus Dialga Palkia, taking the last knockout, and the Blastoise Piplup deck is going to wind up emerging victorious against Arceus Dialga Palkia. I know the ADP deck is one of the ones we've had a good bit of requests for, so either way guys, if you are interested in these lists, we will have deck profiles for both these decks being posted in the coming days. I'll have links down below in the description whenever they do go up as well. And also too, stay tuned to the channel as we have a ton of Cosmic Eclipse coverage coming up over the next several weeks. And if you did enjoy this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.